The biggest fear of an NRI or Indian living in abroad just happened. And I'm not just addressing the 8,000 employees that laid off at Meta. I'm talking about all the NRIs from Amazon, Oracle, LinkedIn, or similar big brands who are laid off or who are living with the fear of a layoff. Over 110,000 tech employees have lost their jobs globally this year alone. And Indian H-1B workers are being hit the hardest. When you are on a visa, a layoff is not just about losing your paycheck. It is about losing your right to stay in the country you have built your life in. Hey, I am Susheedha. If you are in the US right now and feeling this anxiety, you need a solid backup plan. The goal of this video is very simple. I do not want you to panic. I want you to prepare. I'm going to give you a simple 3-step financial checklist to protect your future, your savings, and your mental health and your career before anything goes wrong. You can reach out to us for proper financial planning to protect yourself during these layoffs. The WhatsApp number and the link are right there in the description below. So let's talk about why this is happening so suddenly. You need to understand the structural shift. Companies are not just cutting costs because the market is down. They are aggressive, cutting regular tech jobs and middle management roles for a specific reason. The companies want to shift their massive budgets into AI, into automation. And it is no longer just a tech problem. Non-tech companies, from retail giants to financial firms, they are copying this exact same playbook to save money, to become more profitable. If the big players are doing it, the smaller ones will definitely follow. For an NRI in the US, the ground beneath your feet can shift in a second. This is what you are up against. The 60-day clock. The moment your job ends, a brutal 60-day countdown starts. You have exactly 2 months to find another company who can sponsor your visa. Or you have to pack your bags and leave. In the past, people who would easily switch to a tourist visa to buy few extra months for job hunting, today that backup is failing because the government is putting those applications under extreme scrutiny. The heavy economic burden you are fighting in this 60-day clock while carrying massive monthly pressure. You still have to pay your US home EMIs, your rental, take care of your kids' school expenses, handle a healthcare system which is not cheaper like in India. That's completely tied to your employment. The green card fatigue, years of waiting and endless backlogs have broken people's patience right now. A recent poll showed that nearly 50% of Indian professionals would rather pack their bag and return to India than dealing with this constant everyday visa anxiety. So what's the solution? If the worst case scenario happens, you should not be figuring things out in a state of panic. You need to know your moves right now. You should plan it right away. How you do it? So it requires the financial plan where you can call cash is the king. When your income stops, your investments cannot pay your monthly bills. You need an emergency fund that can easily carry your family for up to 6 months. Forget your net worth on paper for the moment. You need liquid fund. Every NRI family needs at least $30,000 sitting 100% in liquid. That is roughly 20 to 25 lakh rupees we are speaking about. Do not keep this money in any stock or locked retirement account. Keep this in high yield savings account where it is completely safe and accessible within minutes or probably in days. The second step, this is the relocation plan, managing your US assets. If you have to make the move, you need to handle your US assets smartly without losing a big money. If you own a house, do not panic to sell your property in a hurry. You will get a bad deal if you do it in smaller span of time. So what is the smart move here? Try renting it out instead. Just make sure that you are keeping a separate 6 to 12 month cash bucket to cover any gap between your rent you receive and your actual mortgage payment. For assets or liabilities like your car or furniture and the electronics, if you can sell them immediately, that would be good. Trying to ship your cars or heavy furnitures or electronics in India is a massive waste of money because of heavy freight cost and the custom duties they may apply to you. Sell them locally to convert them into cash. Step 3. This is about your return to India plan, funding the move. Now, let us look at your plan in India. Review your Indian investment a bit rapid if you are planning to come to India. Like normally we just leave our invested money. This is the time you should look into your Indian investments also very aggressively, how you should plan it so that you are not taking much of a risk at this time at least. If you already have existing mutual fund portfolio, fixed deposit or savings account in India, now is the time to review them in depth. This is the corpus you will use to absorb your moving cost so that you do not have to touch your US retirement accounts. Start tracking and building this corpus right from today. Moving back to an Indian metro city is expensive. Let us look at the real bare minimum number for your family of 4. So expense category, what it covers. Estimated cost, day 1 is the setup cost for flight, rental advance, brokerage, school admission fees. So keep 14 to 15 lakh rupees for this purpose. This is a 6-month living buffer for you. Generally, monthly survival and running expenses, assuming roughly 2 lakh per month. So 12 lakh rupees is what you are keeping here. This should be your minimum needed. The baseline cost for a stable transition while you look for a new job or doing something of your own, like your own startup. So altogether, you should keep at least 26 lakh rupees for this. So I'll give you a very recent example. One of my investor who was working for one of the known MNC in the US, he was staying in the Bay Area itself in California. So he had a similar situation and we were just having a normal conversation where I got to know about it. He mentioned about the things and he was a bit worried about how he should move to India. Definitely because it's not a same kind of pay scale if you are coming back to India. You are earning only 20 to 25% probably of what you were earning in the past and in the US or whichever country you are living in. So the pay scale, definitely there is a good difference. So now if you have to move back to India, you have a lot of expenses. So how we did it is we calculated his net asset, total investments in liquid, investments in equity, investments in debt, his plans for coming to India and how much time it's going to take for him to settle down in India, figure out a job. We built an entire financial plan keeping taxation in mind, because taxation is something, if you are not doing a proper planning about it, then you will be losing a big chunk of money to pay taxes to the US government as well as to the Indian government. So there are certain benefits like NRI status under which India doesn't tax you in the initial years when you move back to India. So these are certain points and there are certain parameters also which are required to figure this out, which we did for the investor. And it took 2 months for him to settle down in India with all the planning, and it went so well that he doesn't regret that he didn't do anything in a planned way, and that's really was something he was happy about. So look, this plan is not about being scared. It is about taking control of your life. When you have a plan, you replace panic with confidence. If you want to build a solid, foolproof financial buffer, you need help figuring out your numbers. Reach out to us. We are specialized in helping NRIs build proper financial planning backup amid this layoff season. You can click the link in the description below or message us directly on our WhatsApp number. Just drop a comment saying you need a financial plan. Our team will connect with you to help you map out your safety net. Be prepared, stay smart. I'll see you in the next video.